Torben, in your book, The Contextual Leader, you have a model that's called the PIA cycle. Could you explain a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So when we talk about contextual leadership, we've got two sides of that: matching the context to lead effectively and shaping the context to set your organization up for performance. And the PIA cycle is a way of working with how do you shape the context. PIA is an acronym. It stands for priorities and principles. So you need to set priorities and principles and be very explicit about what you want. Then you need to involve and interpret together with the people that are going to live out the new context, that are going to commit to acting in a new way. And then you're going to act and align your way into shaping the context. So basically, that cycle is an organizational learning cycle. Within that cycle, we've got a couple of sub-processes. The first going from priorities and principles into involving and interpreting. In that involvement, when you and I sit down and find out how we're going to make this happen, we might find out that the brief we got from our leader might be a bit off, or we'll learn something. So I need to go back and verify. So there's a framing and a verification. And that also implies that it's on me as a leader to verify priorities if I don't get any. It's not on me to wait for it. It's on me to go back and say, I'm going to do this, not that. Is that okay? Is that in line with the intention?
So the PSI is actually a recurring process that you revisit whenever you have the need to realign or reinform or do something about
Absolutely.
that.
It's the lifeblood of strategy deployment. It's the lifeblood of aligning across in a matrix. It's the lifeblood of integrating new people into a team. So we're putting two teams together. We need to set some priorities, agree on how we're going to act them out, and based on those commitments, get back and learn how do we move in the right direction. And there's a last part of the PIA cycle, which is that when you're acting, when you're deploying new ways of acting in an organization, then you also get the opportunity to lift best practices into new priorities. So the way that you lift learning from one unit to another unit to another unit, that is by observing what's going on and lifting those into the leadership team. So we've got interlocking PIA cycles when you deploy, and then it runs back up the organization. So if you understand the PIA cycle, then you pinpoint the processes that drive organizational learning, which is at the heart of efficiency optimization, making change happen, implementing strategy. So if you go back to the base mechanisms of shaping the context to align to what we want to achieve through leadership, then you've got the PIA cycle.